Well, it's great to see you all here. I think you know I tried very hard during these keynote presentations to try and limit the number of times I mention Microsoft products. So I want to welcome you to COMDEX XP. This next week is going to be a big week in the world of entertainment. We've got all the things going on at COMDEX. Tuesday, we've got the 200th episode of Frasier. Of some new ways of using the tools. Electronic communication, instant messaging, which will become a replacement for all types of real-time communication, where you'll have screen, sharing, editing, video. That's really quite explosive. Digital cameras, which will eventually be common sense for all sharing of photos, are now over 20% of camera sales, over 18 million during this calendar year. Closer to home, Microsoft, just 2 weeks ago, put out Windows XP. It was a very important launch for us, as important as the initial launch of Windows or the launch of Windows 95 that brought us into the 32-bit era. With all the uncertainty, we weren't sure what the sales would be like, what the OEM sales would be like, what the retail sales would be like. Digital decade. When I say that, I mean from 2001 to 2010, the new things that will happen. Taking digital innovations and bringing them to be an integral part of life. Now, the impact of this will not be limited to our industry. In the same way that during the 90s, every industry was energized by the kind of productivity that our tools provided, that will happen again. If you think about knowledge workers, the people who have to examine information, make decisions, the productivity we brought to those workers has been significant. But in the decade ahead, I can predict very clearly that we'll provide over twice the productivity improvement as we did during the 90s. For enterprises, we'll take the rather shallow approaches that are being used for digital commerce today and drive the real promise of B2B. There's an underpinning of that that's just come into focus recently as a key industry standard, which is the approach using XML called web services. A very, very important set of advances.
This particular form factor, I think that this next generation, we're going to see real improvements in battery life, approaching 6 to 8 hours in the next year. But you know, Bill, we're down here in Las Vegas. You're a convertible kind of guy, in my opinion. So what I want to do is I want to show you one of the nice things about this. This happens to be a notebook convertible. So what I've done now is basically I've switched this over to be a tablet PC. And you'll notice also I switched from landscape to portrait. Now, Bill, this is the kind of form factor that I think is really going to be a part of those improvements in knowledge worker productivity that you were talking about. Now, a year ago, you talked about the concepts, the vision of tablet PC, and I think it's a good opportunity for us tonight to give a little bit of a progress report. I'm very excited by the work of our hardware partners. We're seeing tremendous advances. In fact, tonight what I'm going to do is show you some of the work that's going on in the hardware area. And they share all of the same kind of characteristics. Really lightweight, high speed, great density, the ability to get long battery life, and you can use the keyboard, the mouse, run Windows XP Professional, or run them as a tablet. Why don't we go ahead and take a look here. Be a little careful of that. Now, what you see right here is a set of devices. I kind of group them into some clusters. These are what I would call the convertibles. You see like the clamshell design, very common for notebooks. But again, these are tablet PCs as well. So you can use the keyboard, you can use the pen, you have the choice in that kind of a form factor. Now, here are some designs that I call the Slate Designs. They're like a portfolio. You see a lot of different opportunities. This one is from FIC. Really nice form factor as well from Tatong, and it shows that you can have a detachable keyboard, could be wirelessly connected or it could be connected via wire. Very nice Slate form factor from Compaq. Here we have one from Fujitsu. Now over here we have some other ones. This is a Slate form factor from Wistron, one of the key ODMs in the marketplace. That's original design and manufacture, and that's going to help stimulate some of the growth in the device market. This is a particularly impressive design as well. This is from Toshiba. Looks very, very small. Obviously it is small, but it's running Windows XP Professional. So it's a full-powered PC. Now this is from VIA. And here's one that I'm very excited about as well. This is Intel's reference design. And it really shows that with the great work of our partnership with Intel, what you can get is very, very high performance with very low power consumption. And that, of course, is going to be very important. And you want to finalize the org chart. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and insert a little space. Now that's the kind of thing you can do with a tablet PC. You get, in effect, a lot of electronic paper. And of course, because you've got the nice ability to do direct manipulation with the pen, what I can do is go ahead and draw in a little org chart. And I'll demote myself down here to work for the VP. And yeah, we'll put you in here too, Bill.
Great.
Web services are small, reusable application components that can be shared seamlessly between websites as services. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples here about how you can implement web services. The first example is an expense reporting template. Most of you out there are going to be implementing an expense report when you go back to your office. And my guess is you're going to have a wallet, a briefcase, or even an envelope that's full of these paper receipts that you're going to have to sort through when you get back to your office. So here you see a simple Excel spreadsheet. But in the world of web services, this is going to go out and pull in data on my behalf and populate the spreadsheet for me. So let's take a look. Here I have a component that will go out and register with the appropriate websites via my passport ID and pull in the data and put it into the spreadsheet for me. You'll see my hotels coming in, my meals, my rental car, my MSN expense, as well as my cell phone. Now this is only made possible because these vendors have implemented web services and XML. Now in early December, we're going to be releasing our Microsoft Office Web Services Toolkit. That toolkit will allow you to write custom functions to do this same task. For example, if I want to pull in my airline information, I could put in the date and go and put in a custom function called get my flight name that I've generated, and I just simply tell it the name, the date that I have flying, and there it brings up my flight from Seattle to Las Vegas. And because these functions can be saved, I'm going to go into my user-defined functions and pull up my get my flight price function that I created with the toolkit. And again, reference the date, and it puts the price in for me. Okay, now what about these cash receipts that you have? For instance, a tip to the bellman. They aren't on my credit card or my debit card. So what I'm going to do is most of you have a pocket PC that you're carrying around for your calendar and your contacts. Well, I'm going to use an application that I have to store these cash transactions so I don't have to remember them when I get back to the office next week. So let's see. When I came in, I took the taxi from the airport to the hotel. So let's go ahead and select taxi. And with tip, $25. Okay, then I came in and I tipped the bellman. So let's go ahead and put a tip on there of $5. And then, oh yes, last night I went to dinner with a group of people and we split the tab. So I'm going to go into my tip calculator, and the total bill was $98. The service was good. It wasn't excellent. The food was good. And there was 3 of us, so we want to split that. So with tip, my portion is $36.59. So then I go to dinner. I do $36.59. And I'm done. How cool is that? Would you like to have this application to use this week? Well, we're going to give this to you. Tonight when you get back, just log on to pocketpc.com and you can download it, Compliments of Microsoft.